I'm a counsellor psychotherapist. My training was with psychosynthesis. I have been helping people for 20 years plus now. So I've also done, I really find the imagination very powerful and the body very powerful. But imagination is what I studied before I became a counsellor psychotherapist. And I can go deep within my work with that. I'm a dancer as well, or I like to consider myself a dancer. I love dancing. I've discovered a new part of me, I think, with the dancing, because although I've always loved dancing on and off through my life, now I've sort of done full circle and gone back to ballroom type dancing and Latin, which I'm finding really exciting. And now I'm looking at using dance within my work with the amazing Jay, who's very talented, creative and very empathic actually. I've always found him empathic, and I've watched him with particularly couples. He's very encouraging, and we're calling it relationship dance therapy. Mostly I'm working with couples who have got stuck in their relationship for one reason or other, and they've reached a place where they can't work it out for themselves. Sometimes they've left it very late, which is challenging, but it can still be turned around if that's what they both want. I also help single people get relationships, because what they discover is that they keep repeating, attracting the same type of man that doesn't work. It doesn't work for them. So in order to get the man they want, they need to do something different. They need to change. It's the same with couples. They both need to do something different in order to change the relationship. So basically that's what I do, is help people unstick themselves. I think happiness is a goal for most people. They want, and normal. They use the word normal. Now that's really interesting, because your normal, my normal, will be and their normal is very different. We all have a different perspective on life and what we want. So I help them get their normal, what their happiness would be. Not what I want, what I think, but what they want. Miscommunication is the biggest issue with relationships. Basically, we need to be able to listen well and express ourselves well. Some of that is with our bodies as well as with our words. So we have congruence. You know, are we smiling when we're actually angry? Are we looking stern when we're actually happy? It's about really being clear, clarity, and we all have issues with that, and we should check it out. So if you're listening and you're not sure, don't make an assumption, because that doesn't work either. Check it out. Say, do you mean this, this and this, rather than leaving it to your own imagination as to what it might be. To round up, when you're talking, make sure your body language, your facial expressions is congruent with your words and what your feeling and emotion is. And when you're listening, check it out if you're not sure. Don't make assumptions. That's what's really good for relationships. Particularly for couples, because you are using your bodies, which I don't think many people are used to doing. So you're doing non-verbal communication, which is so important as well. I think I've just mentioned something about our bodies and our facial expressions. So it's about that too. Only putting a little bit more drama into it, maybe. that's always been a bit of a challenge for me, and I'm going to hear some of you, particularly a lot of men, say, oh, I can't dance. Actually you can, everybody does. When you walk down the street you're doing your dance, whether you like to think it or not. Everybody walks differently. When you're talking with somebody, you're not standing still normally when you're standing up. You're shifting from foot to foot and moving your body around as you talk. And when you get animated, you start throwing your arms. Well, this is dancing. And I've always said life is a dance, you know. Things come at us that are good, something come at us that are not so good. So you're doing a dance with these two things. Your dance through life. With couples, it either flows or you get angry, and then there's a disconnect, and it's almost like there's a rigid stick between you which goes backwards and forwards as a dance. So it's about one of you letting go of that and just be willing to follow. And the conclusion is start thinking about how you dance together and move together and are together. See how important it is? It's all important. Movement. It's not just about dancing particular steps. You can dance. So dance. I know through my childhood with country dancing I did, that helped me through a very difficult time of abuse, and as a teenager getting over it or into the more awkward years, I did modern and old time, and modern in those days was ballroom and Latin and rock and roll, which I loved, and then changes it made in my life. Later, after my marriage broke up, I turned to salsa. Now, one of the reasons I needed to do something which I saw as actually sexy. I don't think everybody sees salsa as sexy, but I did. And one of the reasons I wanted to dance that was because I'd seen it danced, and after my marriage broke down, I felt sexless, I suppose, a bit not good enough and all that sort of thing. But salsa is such a grounding street dance, and so it's very grounding. It kept me from going into my head too much, thinking too much. So it helped me from getting out of my feelings of not good enough. I was good enough, you know, and I had some amazing people I danced with, it made me feel even better. And I seemed to be able to step up to a better dancer all of a sudden for some reason, and that made me feel good. It was sort of very exciting. And then I went on to Argentine tango, which was more, not romantic, but more closer, and I needed to get back into that feeling of being touched and touching. That was scary in itself. I learned a lot from that about me, about me, my body, what I was feeling. So that's what it did for me. I see it as the merging of dance and therapy. As I have said earlier about my own body, I have noticed other people's bodies and how they move and how they are with each other. I have seen couples where the man doesn't really want to be there, but he's there because he knows he can make his wife happy. I've seen others where they use it for fun. They have a laugh while they're doing it. They don't take it seriously, which are all important ingredients for relationships. And in dancing, I think too, it should be fun. So I guess I want to move on to the aim now, because my aim is for people to be happy, to have what they want. You know, people say to me, I want a normal relationship. Well, what's your normal relationship? Because it might not be my normal relationship. We're all different as to what we see as normal. So I want you to have a really good relationship that's for you, not me, but you. And I believe the mixture of dance and therapy will help you achieve that.